What's good? Welcome to another live stream where we are reviewing athlete film. Starting off with the slapper by Drebo, the homie Drebo. Okay, we got a fun stream planned for y'all today. A lot of film to review. So we don't have a presentation. I'm saving that actually for a different day, putting in a lot of work into the next presentation because it will result in a new class. We're going to have a new class added that I think a lot of people will find value in. Basically going to try to learn how to run faster in a short amount of time. So these are all 12 weeks. Isn't bad, but we're going to figure out how to run faster with a new method. Okay, stop Drebo's there. Okay, so this is the method we will be covering, not today, but eventually, which I learned from Tim Ferriss, DSSS framework for learning any skill fast. So this will not only help you learn how to run fast, but it can be applied to any skill that you want to learn how to use. So you see here, the D is for deconstruct, break skills into the smallest skill units. So for sprinting, that will be how to lift your knees properly, how to strike the ground underneath you properly, what angles you should be achieving, how to push, turnover, stride length, things like that. And then you'll pick 20% of the units that give 80% of the result. This is based on Pareto efficiency, which is that there's 20% of things you can do that give you 80% of the results. And this is true for a lot of things, right? So for example, live streaming, 20% of what's going to give me most of the results is showing up. And then I can always make things look better. I can always make higher quality things. Yo, what's up? Rodriguez, how do you say your name? Sorry, how's it going? So we'll identify out of the small skills that make up the big skills of running fast. I'll help you identify the 20%. What's up, Teresa? And then we will learn how to pick those. We'll learn then what order you want to follow to improve the fastest. So once you've identified the 20% of those skills, in what order should you attack them? And then we'll add real stakes to make them real consequences and provide real motivation. So let's hear Tim Ferriss. This is where I learned it from, was the Diary of a CEO podcast. Let's just listen to him explain it much better than me.
Yes. Deconstruction, selection, sequencing, stakes. Deconstruction, which is taking a fairly ambiguous goal like learn to swim or learn Japanese. None of those are actually very descriptive. Deconstructing any one of those is breaking it down into constituent parts. You can do that very effectively with the help of an expert. For instance, if you want to find a silver medalist from the Olympics 2 Olympics ago, you can probably get on a Zoom call with them for $100 an hour, maybe $50 an hour. Like, you do have access to world-class talent. They would help you figure out, all right, there are all these different possible components. The next part, which is selection, Pareto's law. So you're picking the 20% that will give you 80% of what you want. Let's just use language learning in that case. You can very easily find word frequency lists for any given language, hundreds of thousands of words you could learn. But with the most frequently used 1,500, you can get to reasonable conversational fluency in almost any language in 8 to 12 weeks. without question, if you approach it methodically, but you need the right material first. The next S is sequencing, putting it in the right order. This is the magic sauce that gets lost a lot, which is, what is a logical sequence for learning any given skill? What do you practice first? So in the case of swimming, for instance, forget about breathing. Like, you need to figure out like getting comfortable putting your head underwater, et cetera, et cetera. Last S stands for stakes, which means incentives. So how do you ensure that you will do actually what it is you say you're committing to doing? If more information were the answer, we'd all be billionaires with six-pack abs. So information is clearly not sufficient. It's necessary, but not sufficient. Incentives drive behavior change, right? You could give $500 to a friend or $100, whatever. The amount doesn't really matter. And if you don't do what you say you're going to do, they donate it to like your most hated political candidate in your name, right? That's another one that I've seen work really well. If people expect some kind of like linear incremental progress, it just ain't going to happen. And so most people quit before they hit any real inflection points. That's it. That DSSS, deconstruction, selection, sequencing, stakes. And if you just check those boxes moving that order, your ability to learn will hockey stick in a really meaningful way.
Okay, so that is the framework that we will be discussing on next live stream, because I'm working quite hard on forming it into a class for you. So there it is: deconstruction, selection, sequencing, stake, and then I'll have a nice way to teach you how to do that within the confines of running faster. But again, this is not just for running, right? It's going to be used for any skill that you want to learn. So if once we learn it inside of the context of sprinting faster, it will translate and transfer over to any skill that you want to learn. So before we now move into the athlete review, we're going to watch this quick short from Fred Duncan, another great Twitter channel that I enjoy, where he says, sprinting does not just strengthen the hamstrings. The research shows that it actually changes how the hamstrings are built. Studies looking at muscle tendon behavior show that as speed increases, the hamstrings perform more negative work in the late swing, not during stance. So let's see what he has to say about this. If you actually take like samples of high performing athlete cells, they often look different and operate different than non-high performer cells. So let's see what he's saying and what we can learn.
Actually changes how the hamstrings are built and how they function. When you sprint,
first we're going to say, what's up? Let's Spark the Truth 101. Just subbed, appreciate it. Tim Farrington, how's it going? Are y'all runners? You're just stopping by to see what's happening on the live. How are y'all doing today? This channel is about running faster, but my philosophy is that in order to run faster, in order to be a better athlete, you just have to improve your life in all realms. So hopefully you can, whether you're a runner or not, you can find some value in this.
The biggest demand on the hamstring isn't just pushing the ground, it's controlling the leg in the late swing phase. And that's where the muscle tendon unit does the most negative work. Negative work just means that the hamstrings are fighting to slow the leg down as it swings forward. And here's why that matters. Over time, that specific high-speed demand changes the structure of the hamstrings. The fascicles, which are just bundles of muscle fibers, actually get longer, and the pennation angle drops. The pennation angle just means how angled the fibers are. When that angle decreases, the fibers line up better with the direction that they're pulling, and force transfer becomes more efficient at high speeds. Longer fascicles mean the fibers can shorten faster and more efficiently. They contract better at high speeds, they can handle higher velocity ranges, and they're less likely to fail under fast lengthening. That's why sprinters with longer fascicles tend to have a lower hamstring strain risk. And the main point here is that the gym cannot replicate this speed-dependent deceleration that the hamstrings see in the late swing phase. You can load your hinges and Nordics and RDLs, and these are great exercises, but they can't create the same architectural adaptations that you get from sprinting. So sprinting doesn't just train the hamstrings, it rebuilds them specifically for high-speed performance. Faster contraction, better control in late swing, and a reduced chance of injuring the hamstring as well.
Okay, there was a lot of high end talk there. I didn't understand all of it fully. I'm not going to lie, but essentially, you can't train your hamstrings in any other way other than sprint. You can't train them for sprinting in any other way other than sprinting. So that was good. I just wanted to show you that. Okay, let's get to why we're all here. Athlete film review. So this is one of my athletes, Shane. We met last Sunday, and we got in a lot of great work. And I'm going to show you the difference in her sprinting form. Maybe actually we're just going to do this. Let's look at what she looked like at the beginning of the session first here. So this was actually some improvements that we made already. Let's see what this one looks like actually. So a little bit blocky there. You can see a little right. This often happens when you're training athletes, especially while you're watching them, is they begin to think about things too much. And I see her thinking a bit too much here. It looks non-rhythmic. But one of the things we're trying to get Shane to do is to increase her stride, the ground that she's covering, with bigger strides, but not overextended strides, right? So one of the things for Shane is that she doesn't really pull or attack the ground, so it leads to a small front side. And we have this saying, right? Large front side mechanics, quiet backside mechanics. Okay, so this heel gets a little bit outside of the range that it needs to be, results in not striking the ground with as much force as she needs. So instantly, I know Shane needs to do some sled pulls, which we will go over. And so to get comfortable with a full range of motion, I had Shane do cycling drills here. Okay. So this is a great exploration tool to help you figure out what a max stride length should feel like, because on some of these reps, you're going to see she goes small, right? What I'm looking for here is this nice action. Look, that's directly under her knee, toe pointed up, hips at 90. You're going to see her do small circles, and then you'll see her do some that are looping and large. And then there's a happy medium that she will find that will help cue her into what her full gait, her full stride length should look like. So let's see it again here. So see how small she's not pulling through; she's stopping at the ground. So I don't want her stopping there. I want her pulling all the way through. You see, again, the front side is not horrible, but the back side is almost like a whisper. She begins to get it a little bit towards the end there. So I had her turn around and try the other side. You see a little bit better motion, still small. But that front side is staying much tighter. Back side's beginning to incorporate a little bit. See, she's almost stabbing instead of grabbing. Okay, the other thing we wanted to work on with Shane is ankle stiffness. So this is one of my favorite series here for ankle stiffness. This is in the sprinters warm up that I have, where we're doing ankle hops. All her movement should be created within her ankles there. The toes pop, strike the ground and should be pulling back up towards her knee. And she's doing a nice job at that. Because sprinting, you want to be stiff when you hit the ground. You want to be able to recover quickly. And then we have single leg. This looks actually very good. You can also achieve this with like jump roping is another great example. These are all incorporated into Shane's warm-up because it's one of the areas I need her to improve in, so that once she hits the ground, her force is distributed much better and then returned to her body much better. Let's see here. Did that. The other leg now. See that toe's dragging a bit on this leg. So you see it never really pops back up to her knee. And a lot of that movement is coming from her hips and her knees, not her ankles. And then one of my favorite ones, this is where we really saw Shane need some work and begin to develop. She was getting nice burning sensation in her legs and glutes, and that's what we're looking for. So these are just sideways, working on stability, working on ankle strength again. Same thing, coming back, same leg. And then we'll have her switch legs and go back this way. So really reinforcing the ankle stiffness, really priming her body for sprinting, because when you strike, that's what you need. Oh, not even showing the right screen. Okay, so these are the ankle hops I was talking about that I did not show. We have sideways. Then we have these are the doubles that I mentioned, where the toes are the ankles are much more active here. You see her foot moving around the base of her ankles. When we ask for forward lean as well, the forward lean is generated from her ankle. So you see this slight line that she has leaning forward. This is what you want when you're sprinting as well. Did I show the cycles too, or I missed the cycles probably? Okay, so we did those drills, and here's Shane's after sprints, which look a ton of look at the fluidity and the stride length improvements between this buildup and this buildup. All right, you see how blocky these is? You can see every movement that she's doing. It doesn't look like one piece of, right, it looks like small pieces of a large puzzle, I guess is how I can describe it. Where each movement is thought and weighed on heavy. But then when we get to these, look how fluid that movement is. Look at how open her gait is. This is often referred to as a gait or stride length. These look excellent. This is the best I've seen Shane sprint. Another good one. Arm swing. We worked on arm swings too. So those arms are maybe just a little bit exaggerated, but the more reps that Shane does, the more rhythm she will find. Very nice open strides, especially because Shane's a 400 runner. Those strides have to be very efficient. Okay, so that one looks much better than this one. Actually, those strides look okay. Much better than this one. Look at the small strides. The backside is not quite in sync. And again, a lot of that was a result of these standing cycles. Yep. So I'm going to reinforce again stiffness here in this leg. I'm always going to be cycling my inside leg, not my outside leg. And we still have work to do. This was at the very beginning of the session, and you don't quite see the full cycle on the back. Look at the backside there, it's almost non-existent. And so we just worked on that in order to help Shane improve quite quickly in one session. Next, we have Vihan. So Vihan has been chatting through our school. Right, Vihan hopped in here, added their film, and this is what we're going to look at. Okay, so one thing we want to pay attention to while Vihan is doing their sled pulls is the angle of the shin. So look, you see the weight resistance back here, which is a sled. And so what a sled does is it slows you down and actually puts you in all the right positions. Oh, Vihan's here. What's up? How's it going? Vihan, one thing, I need more, like this is way too quick for me to assess fully. I need to see a greater length of you sprinting. I'm going to put up a video for you to show you how to film yourself correctly. So we're going to get into how to make your starts better, because I know you asked me that through our school channel, and the resistance sled is going to help me show you exactly what you need to do to make your starts better. I can see from this angle that the arms are a little bit, they're not large enough, right? So look at your arms here. Okay. They're swinging nicely, but they're not open enough. They're not wide. They're not, let me see here. Watch this. How do I turn the sound off of this? So this is Matthew Bowling. I think he was a NC2A champion at Georgia, maybe. Okay, so angles of the shins, 45, shoulders over hands. So right there, look at the shin, 45 still, shin 45 still. Look at this arm driving back here, Vihan, and this arm driving forward. And then the leg comes through, little bit of toe drag. I know there's many coaches that are like, don't drag your toe, but I don't believe that driving toe is the best thing. I don't think it's the worst thing either. I think it's a non-factor, honestly. It's way more about the triple extension. And then Matthew Bowling is going to drive his foot back into the track backwards. Okay, so now we're going to watch Vihan again and them do their start. So now watch your arm, Vihan. Arms, okay. Now I can't quite see. It actually looks like this arm does shoot back there very well. That arm looks decent, but then all of a sudden you're still in your drive phase, so your arm should still be swinging back with force. You want to drive yourself back into the track with your arms, but you're short and small in those arms is what I notice. And then here we go again. Sitting back, look. So your foot's on the ground here, right? And your hips, oh, didn't show you the tab. Okay. So your foot's on the ground here, almost flat. Hips are behind your center, or your foot is in front of your center of mass. Your hips are going to be your center of mass. This is what I'm saying when I say that you're leaning back as you're sprinting upright. And once again, your foot strikes and your hips are back here. So you need a lot more posture work, standing up straight. Let's compare you to your friend. So your friend is not quite on the ground yet, but see, now his foot is here. He's also collapsing a little bit in this leg. You both need some plyometric work and some sled pulls that you've sent me so far. Okay, very good. I appreciate the compliments there, Jacob. And then we'll watch your friend strike here. Look at his hips are not quite as far back as yours, but so that for me is a bunch of posture work. Look at, and your hands are a little high up. Okay, let's watch your sled starts, okay? So let's compare this to Matthew Bowling's that we just looked at. So you've got a nice shin angle there. This arm is driving back, so maybe just the view of the other one. I couldn't quite see that. So these sled pulls are actually putting you in a decent position. I think I mentioned to you that you need to do more upright sled pulls. Oops. I didn't mean to ban that person. My bad. So this isn't bad, but you're only 3 steps out. So what you want to work on is a lower heel recovery. Okay. So this heel that comes through, it's going to loop around and then through. So boom, around and through. And then this one loops around and through now as well. And so as your shins, look at the angle of your shin here, it's going to become greater than 45. So you're going to begin your stand up. And also your hips are sinking back again with this. Those are nice. Now let's compare again to Matthew Bowling, who does have blocks right here. So they might be a little bit different than yours, Vihan. So he draws that nice line along this shin to stay at 45. He strikes. Look at how low his heel comes through. Okay, so look at the difference there. That heel comes through low. Full extension, the hip, the knee, the ankle pushes. And then this heel also comes low, if you could see that at the very end there. So Vihan, that's what you need to work on the start. The angle of your shin is going to dictate the angle at which you'll be running as you get further down the track. This all sets up things for further down the track. So if you can improve this, you'll see more improvement as you move down the track. So watch yours again. So this heel picks up and it comes through high. You see the difference there? Not a low sweep through. Okay, and that's called low heel recovery. There's wall drills you can do. How do I get a better shin angle heel recovery? Okay, so great question. So I'm going to show you. So you want to do more wall drills. I'm going to show you. So if I took my athlete and I made her face this fence here, but put her at a 45-degree angle and worked on just low heel recovery as you switch. You want to be trying to push the fence over or this railing over while you're in the drive position with low heel recovery. So that will help reinforce low heel recovery. And when you have these sleds, it's a perfect time to slow down and try to get it perfect, right? So again, initial start, not horrible, but that heel has to just swing through low. It takes practice, Vihan. It does take reps, but I promise it will pay off further down the track. And you only want your low heel recovery for 5-6 steps, and then you can begin getting into your natural cycling rhythm. Oh, I didn't show you this again. I am off it with the streaming. Okay, so is this better? So this is what I was talking about with the fence drill. So I'm going to take my athlete here. I'm going to make her face this railing, and then I'm going to have her lean at a 45-degree angle, and she will begin working switching legs, right? Essentially trying to drive this fence over, but with low heel recovery, and just doing reps of that will help translate over to this. Does that make sense, Vihan? A little bit? You have some idea of what to work on? And just keep filming and sending it in. But the sleds is, again, a perfect time to slow down. I bet you that you probably have even worse heel recovery with this without the sled, because without the resistance, you're going to have to move faster and all your flaws will begin to show more. Yeah, that's not a bad push, right? You can also extend this. Excuse me. So let's see, we want to work on triple extension as well, right? So hip, knee, ankle, not bad. But maybe the foot you need to be doing did you see the hops that I had for my athlete at the beginning of this session? You need to be doing those as well, because watch Matthew Bowling here again. Let's see what the comments say. Yeah, I mean, it just takes time. Look at this. I worked on my block technique from 6th grade through high school and college. I don't think I ever looked as smooth as this. You probably needed a coach who maybe knew what they were looking at. So there's going to be great explosion out. So this shin actually even drops below 45 in order to maintain that push in the beginning, but then this one reaches 45. And look at that extension. Look at that toe that's still, this is full extension. Okay. And part of it comes from his arms. Look at his elbow. Like, I like to say it as like another way to think about it is you want max separation between even your elbows, right? So his elbows are as far apart as they can be. Look at that line that he forms, right? His elbows are as far apart as they can be. This heel comes down low, heel recovery. And then when he pushes off of this one, again, elbows as far apart as they can be, and full extension off this toe. Right. By comparison, Vihan, you see how quick you're trying to rush your pushing, and you're rushing it in the worst time possible, because first of all, it's practice, and second of all, you have a sled where you want to actually overemphasize some of the things that we're discussing today, right? So we're going to compare again. So you push, look at your foot, see how quick it comes off. You don't actually finish pushing. This elbow can drive back a little harder. So swing your arms through just a little harder. And then again, same with this. You see the elbow distance here. This elbow needs to shoot through this way a bit more. This push is actually better than the other one, but you don't push all the way through your toe. So for me, I would like to see you a bit more stiff in your toes and ankles. So we go back to the drill that I Okay, so this is going to be a good little warm-up drill for you to get your ankles stiff, to get you pushing all the way off the tip of your toes there. That's some stuff that you can incorporate as well. Make sense, Vihan? And keep filming things and keep sharing it. You will see improvement. So you see how when you hit as well, that foot it collapses just a bit. It's not horrible, honestly, but you can get a little bit stronger in this region. I would also maybe recommend some calf raises if you're not doing them, and some posterior chain activation. So I'm going to be uploading a lot of these drills and techniques that we just talked about, including the wall drill, including band drills for posterior chain activation and calf raises that will pertain directly to you and a lot of other sprinters as well. But you see your friend there, he's a little bit stiffer on the ground than you. Watch when he hits, boom, he just swipes through, right? Look at the heel height of him, and then yours is flat. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm horrible. Okay, you can see now. Okay, so again, I'm going to show you, look at your friend's heel and then look at yours. Right? So the stiffness of the heel of the foot as it strikes is one of your limiting factors. Okay. The tip about the elbow separation as well is another tip that can work for you. Like compare your friend's arm swings. Look at this elbow swinging through there. Even he can swing his a bit harder, as well as you. I think your arms are actually punching you up in the air so that you're standing, so that you're in this leaning back motion as we've discussed as well. Kavion, do you do any like jump rope or anything like that? Might be good for you. You fix your arm swings. You just practice arm swings, man. Like that's one of the things that you can do on a Friday while you're hanging out and watching TV or whatever. You just sit and I have for all of my newcomers. How long have you been running track, Vihan? For all my newcomers, I'm going to have them, arm swings, like seated arm swings will be a part of their exercise. 6 months. Yeah, so you're fairly new. So a lot of the things we're talking about, you need to be doing. So Vion's been running for 6 months, right? So let me see. While we're talking about this, I'm gonna add to our chat here, right? You need to be doing arm swings, jump rope, ankle hops. If you don't know what ankle hops are, they're in the sprinters warm up that are in the speed lab. You can watch those. Those are really going to help you prime yourself. Um, and then and then I'm a huge fan that you're doing starts with the sleds here, but go ahead and for maybe the first couple of reps, just slow down and exaggerate full extension. Okay. So if you've only been running 6 months, you have a lot of improvement that you are going to make. You're in high school, or I don't know what you call it where you live, but what are you told me maybe you're 16 or so? No, that was someone else, David, who told me he was 16, but okay, you don't do a bad job actually of driving this foot back into the track here. So I like that part. 16, yeah, you're junior. So you have time, man. What's your fastest 100 time again? 11 something. You're trying to get to 11.5 this year. Like, you just putting in this work, you'll get there. I think the new class that I'm about to release, or little series that I'm about to release, is going to help you a lot. Help you get there faster. $11.9. You're trying to get to 11.5. Yeah. I'm gonna also add slow down and work on posture. And a lot of it is just watching yourself, as we're doing here, and then comparing to someone like Matthew Bowling, or whoever, your preferred track person is that's faster than you are. They're going to be doing some of the things better than you are. Boom. Do you do plyometrics, Vihan? I think you'd benefit from some plyometric exercises as well. If you know how to bound, that's excellent. If not, you can skip for height, skip for distance. That's going to be great plyometrics for you, especially as a newcomer. The skipping will help you develop this stiffness in these pogos and bounds. Yeah, awesome. Just keep up with those, man. And focus on like things like buildups or your warm up. If you've done a proper warm up and you're trying to incorporate these things, do you have a coach, or you're just out here with your friend at the moment? Your track season is in the spring, and power skips. Yeah, those are going to be great for you. Those will be great for you. And so for a lot of these, honestly, Vihan, I would slow down a bit and work on. First, it's conscious. It's a conscious thing about slowing down and working on the stiffness of our ankle and the arm swings. Yeah, great. So you're just working out with your friend. Winter season. You do indoor as well? Is that what you mean by winter season, or you have a winter outdoor season? And your friend next to you, they've been running for longer than you? Is that how you're getting your workouts? Yeah. Indoor. Right. So you'll be doing the 60 and everything. For the 60, you made the workouts. For the 60, you'll get your starts. For the 60, the starts are the most important piece because of how short the race is. But it'll be great for you. It'll be great work for you. I love indoor. It's a different animal than outdoor. It's like more intense, but it's great. One thing you are doing well as well is you get a nice little height on this sprints. You know, you're not too low to the ground. Although you're leaning back and your foot is hitting in front of you, you're not seated. Your teammate here is a bit more seated than you are. You see how much lower to the ground they are than you. They just have better stiffness and better arm. Well, their arm swings are not the best either. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. Makes sense, Vihan? I know that was a lot, but you can watch the replay and see what I said. 3 years. Your friend has been running for 3 years. Yeah. So it's just experience, honestly. I gave you access to the 12-week sprint course as well. Because, yeah, good. Okay. I mean, keep filming and keep dropping it in, and let's figure this out with the 2 weeks that we have. And then when your coach comes, you know, I'm sure you'll have less flexibility and freedom to make your own workouts. Okay. So we'll move on. If you have questions, Vihan, please keep asking. We have another athlete, one of my athletes here, 61 400-meter runner. He's 61 years old. He's training for the 400. So these are supposed to be wickets. He forgot his wickets. No problem, Vihan. Keep coming back, man. I'm gonna keep helping you as best I can. Okay, so Brian, if you're here, these are supposed to be one step in between. Slow-mo is helpful, and then it's also challenging because I don't know how fast you're actually running. So one of my advice, if you're doing 2 steps in between some of these, as you are, would be to bring more speed in here. A cold day, got the gloves on. We have to work on the ankle stiffness for you as well. You see that your feet hit and then your heel collapses. We want to remain stiffer on the ground. So Brian, for you, we need some jump rope as well. We need to do our ankle hop series. And then you and I can discuss, Brian, can discuss how to set these wickets up a bit better than what we are. That's a topic that we'll have to cover. Okay. Vihan, you still there? Those toes are pointed down as well, Brian. We need that dorsiflexion. Oh, I think you sent me something else, didn't you? Let me see. Oh, right. It's on your channel. This one. Nice. Where was it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, we got more footage from Brian here that we're going over. Good. So for these, Brian, you want to keep that dorsiflexion. So that's a little bit of plantar flexion. I need that toe pointed back up. What is this? Okay, whatever. So you're pointing your toe here and you're pointing your toe in the other video. So we have a pointed toe problem. Here we go. Okay, so Vihan left, but I told him earlier that he needs to work on his arm swings, okay? And so Brian has arm swings inside of his programming that I made for him because I know he needs work with them as well. So with arm swings, here's what I will say. So these are very passive and they look fine, but if we remember the elbow separation trick that I just taught Vihan, I can see the elbows are not separated. The left arm, you can't even see the elbow coming back. Okay. And you see this little bit of rotation here. That's actually good. I like that. Those shoulders are doing well. Brian, what I want you to do on the next time that you do these is I want you to see if you can trick your body into moving forward without moving your legs. I want you to swing your arm so powerfully and with so much rhythm that your body ends up getting this forward lean and then eventually wants to almost hop forward. And that's how I know that you have the arm swings down. Because right now I like this subtle rotation because you do need rotation inside of sprinting, even though it's a very linear sport. Your body naturally needs to rotate in order to create the max amount of force. But these are just too soft. I need them move. I need right now, I need to see you with a forward lean and the feet need to be almost gyrating, coming up and down on the ground not because you're moving your feet at all, but just because of how you do your arm swings. So on the next time we have arm swings, that's what I would like to see from you. And then here we go. So the pointed toe problem comes back again. How do I get this to not be at 1x speed? I've not seen this before. Okay. But the toe is pointed. That's a nice position you're in, though. And then flat. We're flat on the ground here. And look at that pointed toe, right? You're almost kicking out as you're coming through. I need that to be, so that's going to lead you to hit in front of your body and essentially be a brake for you and slow you down. I understand the wickets can throw you off as you try to make these distances. We're going to work on the distances as well. So as you do your marching, you're letting your toe drop also. You see that, Brian? Toes dropped and pointed down towards the earth. We need those toes pointed back up to the knee. Like that one's nice. That's how it should look, that toe, dorsiflexed. But then as we keep going, the toe begins to point down. The toe begins to point down. Okay, so we can't get lazy there. And see how this heel is tucked up underneath here? We need to have it directly under our knee. Especially as we do the drills. It's not going to look exactly like that when we begin to sprint, but when we do the drills, we need to, again, exaggerate those. So you're just getting a little bit extended on the front side here, and then it's just a brake slowing you down rather than speeding you up as we're trying to do as we sprint. These are good straight legs. And toes pointed down. So we will work on that as the week continues, Brian. Okay, as I said, we're going to add more here. Come drop your film here if you're interested in getting your film review. We have all these entries. I love this. Hello. All right, and that is the Speed Lab for today. No presentation, unfortunately. Working on it, working on making it very good so that for the next time we're here, we have a nice presentation to help everyone like Vihan, to help everyone like Brian, Shane, and that's it. Okay, so thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Peace.